So today I'm going to talk about millennials and their savings habits, which is quite a big call for someone tired and old like me. But as Dan mentioned, we have 165,000 of them. So I'm getting some quite good insights into the way they save and the way they look at savings. And the way that we're doing this at Raiz is that we're automating the process. And we're trying to change their background behaviour by this automation, by introducing new tech, and by introducing AI. And it's just a lot of work that has to be done, but if we can get it right and speak the right language to the millennials, we'll be able to help them improve their saving for the long term. So the problem is, sorry, I'm going to have to put my glasses on. The biggest problem is that saving is not on the top of mind for millennials, and saving for the long term is not on the top of the mind of millennials. And we're kind of all guilty of this. So it's the reason why 13% of Australians still smoke. It's a problem that we know that we have to solve, but it's a problem that we put off to later. And this is the same with savings. But the concern with savings is that, unlike smoking, where you get this feeling or this instant health kick when you stop giving up smoking, with millennials the concern is they'll realise too late the consequences of not saving and getting the compound returns from saving. So what we need to make them do is try and understand and engage with their choices that they're making now, and this is really one of the main aims that we try to achieve at Raiz. So the audience is the millennials. And when we look at surveys done by people, only 8% of millennials really have a high level of financial confidence and financial literacy. But literacy and financial literacy is not enough. Reading something in a book or reading something or being taught in a classroom doesn't create the emotional response we need to engage millennials with their savings. Saving for money is dealing with money is a very emotional thing. And we can't really communicate that in a classroom environment. We need to have some sort of way of illustrating this emotional concept to a millennial before it's too late. So what we have to do, or the solution, or what we're trying to do, is try and change this short-term mentality, this instant gratification that people need, and try and train it away from when they're looking for these long-term goals and savings for the future. And we try and do this with automation in the Raiz app. And we're doing this by trying to engage them in real time so they get this emotional connection to their savings and can try and train them out of this short-term emotional gains they need so they can start thinking about the long-term future. As it's very hard to connect to what's going to happen in the future when we live in this world of instant gratification. And this is one of our main aims at Raiz, is to try and create this emotional attachment to their long-term goals now. So what will the world look like? And the thing about mobile phones in the world that we live in today especially is that the people have changed to instant gratification. This instant gratification has become a lot more, has been brought a lot more forward in the world we live in. Through our mobile phones, through 24/7 banking, through video on demand. People don't wait anymore like in the old days to watch a television show. They just watch it instantly on their, on their mobile phones on the way on a bus or on the way to work. And what we need to do is to use this instant gratification, use the mobile phone to train people to correct their bad habits in their spending and to strengthen their good habits and their good behaviour with their spending. And automation and IT and AI will allow us to do this. The other thing in the world is that by doing this and by having it on a mobile phone, you're no longer learning about it in a classroom. You're learning from it from a practical, hands-on experience. And that's the most important thing, this hands-on experience. Because having money and talking about it in a classroom, or even thinking about trading, when you're just reading books or whatever, is completely different emotional experience to when it's your money and you're seeing that money go up and down and seeing how it's affected by the markets. And so at Raiz, we're very conscious of this hands-on experience to try to gauge millennials on how to manage their money. And so I'll give you some more details about how we try and do this and how we try and help at Raiz. So the first thing is that we automate savings. And so the savings, or this behaviour happens in the background of life, and it's, and we do this through three ways. We do it through roundups, we do it through lump sums, and we do it from reoccurring deposits. So the first thing we do actually is simplify the investment decision, and we do this by only offering them 6 portfolios, 6 diversified portfolios, ranging from conservative to aggressive, where the conservative portfolios are very heavily weighted to cash and bonds, and the aggressive portfolios are very heavily weighted to equities. And we also have a socially responsible investment option as well. It's a light green socially responsible investment option, but it's still a socially responsible investment option. And then we have roundups. And what roundups does, it links spending to saving, and it illustrates to people how investing small amounts on a regular basis can add up very quickly. So you spend $3.50 on a coffee, and 50 cents will be rounded up and invested into your account. Or you catch an Uber or take a taxi, and your fare is rounded up to the nearest dollar and invested in the background of life, as we like to say. It's invested in the background and invested into your Raiz account. And that happens automatically with no prompting for you. And then as they learn that they can save small amounts on a regular basis without affecting their lifestyle, they start shifting and going and learning that, hey, maybe we should set up a savings plan or a reoccurring deposit, as we call it, where we invest weekly, monthly, or daily a small amount of money on a regular basis and in an automatic way. And this starts to help their savings grow even quicker. And then we have this lump sum investment concept, where when they have free cash, from, say, like a tax return, they can just put the money straight into their Raiz account with no problem. And then the fourth way we have, which is quite unique, is that we offer a thing called Raiz Rewards. And this is a loyalty program, so that when you shop with your favourite brands online, rather than getting loyalty points, you get a cashback from that brand, and it's invested directly into your Raiz account. And so we're trying to capture what they're doing in their normal lifestyle, and as they're doing that, building up their savings at the same time. And to make it all work, and one of the most important features is that you can withdraw your money at any time without any penalties. And it's very important because it's a very important psychological thing. If you tell people that they can withdraw their money at any time with no penalties, and they know that they can, they just don't do it because it's kind of like Finance 101, and it's why the banking system works so well today. And then the next thing we do at Raiz is that we do real-time financial suggestions. And we do this using AI. And they're near real time. And the suggestions are things like to give you tips on if you're over, flags when you're overspending, tips on how you can save more money, and suggestions which come to your mobile phone in near real time as you're doing the spending. So there may be things like, based on your current spending, you'll be able to save this amount of money at the end of the month. Or we do suggestions like, to try and help them save more, like if you had walked or caught public transport and not taken an Uber or a taxi, this is how much money you would save at the end of the year. So it's not really, we're trying to do a lot of positive reinforcement, not just the negative side as well. And we also look at their cash flow and make suggestions of ways that they can improve their cash flow as well. And this is all done through the app at the moment or through push notifications to your phone. So you get a push notification through your phone. But we are also working on a chat box. So you'll actually be able to ask these questions to the chat box. And the question might be as simple as, can I afford to go out to dinner tonight? And then the answer might come back saying, based on your current spending and saving habits, you can really only afford to go to McDonald's. So, the chat boxes are very important part of it because it's making the experience more personal, and it's all about really creating this emotional connection to your savings. And so the chat box will act more like a coach, a fitness coach does, but it's really a financial well-being coach. And this creation of this personalization and emotional attachment is the most important thing that we need to create to help, correct the bad habits and to, reinforce the good habits that people have when they're spending. And then eventually we'll be able to link this chat box up to voice services like Google Assistant or Siri, and you'll just be able to talk to the app. And so that will even make the experience more personal. And for us, that's very important because we need to create this emotional attachment. We need to create this personalization, which a mobile phone in this day and age allows us to do. So in conclusion, we need to change the way young people engage with their money, and we need to change the way young people engage with their money today. Unlike smoking, if they engage with their money too late, the concern is that they would have missed out on many years of compounding returns and saving small amounts. We need to do this in such a way that they realise that they can invest and save for the future without affecting their lifestyle today. And this is one of the big things that we're trying to do at Raiz, is to get this concept by saving small amounts on a very regular basis. You don't really affect your lifestyle, but it actually all adds up in the long time. We also see a world at Raiz where this approach to holistic financial advice changes. And it changes in a way that where financial advice is given in small bite-sized pieces by AI or machine learning technology in near real time when the consumer needs it via their mobile phone. And this world is actually not far off. I mean, we're already beginning to do it at Raiz, but there are also other apps out there who already are doing the same process. And we see the banking apps beginning to bring them out as well, from the big four banks. So this world where we no longer go down and sit for a holistic financial plan, but it's actually provided to us in real time, this financial advice is a lot closer than we all think. And it's also all about this practical learning experience. Learning about financial literacy in a classroom or reading about it in a book is not anywhere near the same as the emotional attachment you have to your money and when your money is going up and down and being influenced by markets. And we all know this. We all know, the emotional attachment when we can't afford to pay something for something that we need. Money is a very emotional concept. And the ultimate aim, obviously, is so that people can get control of their finances and become financially confident and begin to save for a future. Thank you very much for having me.